And hello everybody, we are back today. It's a Monday night and we have Rocket League and 3 Valorant games going on tonight. 2 of them will be casted here on the main channel. 1 Valorant White Team will be on the second channel tonight, so stick around. You might find some interesting plays going on in Valorant. But right now we've got Rocket League going on shortly here, and I think it's St. Cloud University that we're up against. Their team is not that threatening, I don't think. And this will just be another game for CSU or Rocket League. CSU's Rocket League team here to kind of just figure out their own teamwork here, mess around a little bit, try different strategies. And it is the CSU Huskies right here. And things shouldn't be half bad here. It'll be a fun game to kind of watch here, especially if CSU kind of has a little bit of fun with some different things. The most thing I'm looking forward to is I've seen them working on a like kind of a double pump pass to kind of get a huge velocity on the ball recently. And I think that's going to be like just looking for pitches like that in terms of like teamwork, especially if the field's open enough and there's not a whole lot going on the field. They could definitely try it out tonight. And if it works, it works. I've seen them do it in practice. It seems to be working sometimes. It's one of those things to where it's very specific to be used in certain circumstances. So I want to see them kind of use this tonight, maybe get a bit more comfortable doing it in a more competitive match. But we'll see what happens tonight. I know that the team's been working really hard on kind of communicating better. They do seem to be doing that a whole lot better compared to the beginning of the season. So we'll see what ends up happening. My hair's a little bit of a mess today. Yeah, the problems of being double crowned. You just have alpha happening all the time. Oh, what's up, PJ?
Do we have Rocket League up?
Yep. We're just waiting on the invite.
Huh? Said you guys are the best.
Me and Ty got this.
I know you do.
And Livy.
And Livy, yeah.
Credit where it's due, my brother.
Livy's great. She's great. whole weight off my shoulders this semester thanks to Livy.
Yeah, I don't know a ton about Rocket League, to be honest. Pretty much started watching it when I got this job, but I do know that Rocket League arguably our strongest team, and despite that, they're always learning new things, always practicing, so I'm excited to see what we can pull off tonight.
Oh yeah, no. I think we have the best chance, especially in terms of NACE, to make it all the way to finals. Probably take the best. I'm not entirely sure. We have lost against one team in NACE, if I'm not mistaken. And that is, I think, yeah.
Coles College.
The Coles College isn't actually our big nemesis here in NACE. But I do think, I remember commentating that game. I do think the main problem with that game is that Cipricate wasn't there to kind of echo a lot of the communication stuff that I was talking about throughout that game. And I think a lot of things that ended up happening was just CSU just wasn't rotating back a whole lot. I don't think there was a whole lot of communication going on there. So
Also like a transition period.
Yeah.
Producer speak. It was a transitional period for them as well because like Cipricate had just become MI.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
So they were getting used to their sub. They hadn't been playing with their sub a whole lot at that time. So I do think Nicole's College isn't that big of a threat. I forget who the threat that Cipricate was talking about. But we're going to go and hop into this game here. We're going to be immediately going off. A nice little 50-50 off the bat. Falc. Nobody really following up on that, though. Which is a good angle for Falc to take. Kind of resets the ball. Orb's going to get it. Lobo. Is Lobo on the wrong team here?
This is a warm-up.
This is probably a warm-up.
I'll go to it, be right back.
I mean, we could just commentate this because this is probably the most hype gameplay that we're gonna see tonight. Against not the diss on St. Cloud State, but
Yeah, just change their score thing to randoms on ranked.
Well, they're playing Falcon and Orb against Lobo, so it's come on, guys.
I wonder if
D-Rust-Arc?
D-Rust-Arc is our sub, and they just changed their name.
Well, Lobo.
Oh yeah, Lobo is the sub. Don't we have 2 subs though, or no? Maybe D-Rust-Arc is the coach. I don't know.
And Lobo comes in with the goal, 1 minute in.
I mean, Lobo does go pretty hard with his air maneuvers. I love Falc, I love Orb. I feel like Lobo should be on the main roster.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Cipricate does the same thing Lobo does, and there is a need for orbs, just typical ball chasing.
Don't call it that.
That's what he does, though. That's literally the term that people use in the competitive scene.
That's wonderful.
I mean, ball chasing is good when you're not overly aggressive with it. It helps the team keep an eye on the ball. It helps the team kind of regain control quickly. And I think that's very important to have somebody on the team doing that. Another thing is, you know, Lobo kind of fills the shoes of Cipricate here, being the, you know, aerial mastermind that Cipricate is, kind of replacing that while Cipricate's sitting out. And the benefit of having that is that you're always trying to set up some sort of aerial maneuver there. So you're always sitting in the back. You're always, half the game, you're rotated out in the back trying to make a play. And that's something that's also just very needed on a team. I feel like those two things together are basically the, not necessarily the centerpiece of Rocket League, but it is essentially the core of a three-man team is those two things. Somebody who's constantly has eyes on the ball and somebody who's always ready to take it.
Yeah.
And then Falk, he is basically the person who's taking every opportunity he gets, and he makes a lot of good goals, he makes a lot of good passes, and that's simply because he's always waiting patiently. And I feel like that's something Falk does and adds a nice piece to this team, is that Falk is just the whole patience that's holding the team together. He is the glue. And that was an interesting pinch there. I was not expecting it to just roll off of Orb's hood there.
Yeah.
I wonder if D-Rust Arc is just Cipricate. He was...
I was also thinking that.
Are we going to see a Cipricate game? No, because I had talked to him before. He wasn't going to play tonight. But he did have his controller today, which is something I haven't seen him have on him in the lounge recently.
Rocket League mostly a controller or mostly a keyboard and mouse game?
Controller.
Yeah.
Keyboard and mouse is very, very awkward to play with.
I can imagine.
You have to have the sensitivity super high, which makes, like, you can definitely play keyboard and mouse, but you'll mostly be going for flicks and you mostly won't be doing a whole lot of aerial stuff.
That makes sense.
There are some pros in the scene that do play on keyboard and mouse that are absolutely insane. And they do pull they do pull off some they do pull off some aerial maneuvers here and there, but they're not like the, you know, the Lobo and the Cipricates here, who are just in the air for a lot of their games, or even Orb here is just, I don't know if he was trying to set up a pinch or what that was. I think he was just making sure the ball was blocked there in case they tried to do something. It's a nice little pass. Lobo's gonna get it though.
Kind of reminds me of keyboard versus controller in Rivals of Aether. If anyone in the chat is familiar with that game and its competitive scene. Super Smash Flash, there was no controller players. That game did not work on that peripheral.
It did if you put effort into it.
It was just worse than keyboard. I mean, that's the case in Rivals 2 to a lot of degrees, and but you didn't feel that for me. Stakes are really high here. CSU versus totally not CSU. This is the game to watch.
I mean, it's currently 1-1. They are pretty evenly matched here.
Is 2v2 Rocket League a
And I mean, that just ended. I spoke way too soon. Immediately D-Rust Arc getting a nice little shot on goal. That was just a little dribble, just carrying it straight in there. And it seems like Falk and Orb just gave up. I don't think they should have both gone for it. That was just...
Is 2v2 a real format in Rocket League? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, there are some 2v2 tournaments. There's very few of them just because it's a lot easier to get goals in 2v2s, which is a little bit exciting, but it also kind of removes some of those defensive things that you see in 3v3s. Like the rotating back. Oh my god, Falk! They're not done yet!
They had to give him one just to give him a chance.
The Lobo was just out of boost. That's the only reason why he couldn't do anything there.
Go for it. Go for it.
Go for it. What a save.
Incoming. Ooh,
Falcon
Orb
Orb
with the
working
intercept.
together. That wasn't really an intercept. I think that was just a play. And oh my god, I told you they weren't out of it yet!
You're way too hyped for this.
I'm way too hyped for Rocket League. You gotta get hyped for Rocket League. I should get hyped for more games, because I'm kind of like the hype man at this point, but...
Are you?
I don't know, am I? I don't know what I am. I'm just the Rocket League guy at this point.
I think Ty's the hype man. The real hype man's PJ. Have you ever seen that guy on comms? He has no idea what's going on. He just knows when CSU is winning, and he is here for it.
I remember the last time he did a Rocket League game, and he was just screaming goal. It was great.
Yeah.
Lobo missing the ball there, and Orb just saying, you know what, here you go, you can have it back.
Yeah.
And man, that is a gentleman's if I've ever seen one.
Alright, well, that's it for Rocket League. We'll see you guys pretty soon with Valorant Green, I believe. Ty, can you take us to be right back?
We'll be starting the game soon. We are going back to the St. Cloud Huskies here.
We gotta commentate more Rocket League.
Captain Cat coming in. I think that's on their main roster.
These are some interesting tags.
Yeah, no, Captain Cat is the captain of this team that we need to watch out for. They're a veteran player. They've been rusted out a little bit from what I've heard, but they're still very scary in 1v1s. I've looked over all these players' profiles, and 22 power is definitely a striker, but Captain Cat is just... We're gonna see Lobo immediately going for a nice little aerial dribble over everything. Falc going for the 50-50, winning it. Orb setting up a shot on goal, and that's it! Immediately 15 seconds in, and CSU already makes a play.
Yeah, not an easy goal either. You can see they had to kind of bring in the very last second to knock that in. 15 seconds in. Coming in for kickoff number.
Another 50-50. Oh, Falcon going for the fake out again. Lobo getting it off the back wall though. CSU didn't really get the best angle on that, unfortunately. And they're going to be in a bit of a pinch here in the corner. Falcon's going to be able to get it out. Get it over the fence. Fortunately, it's getting back into the Huskies' hands here. That's a great save from Lobo there. He was ready for it. Orb's going to come in. And nobody on CSU really has boost here, which is a bit hard. They need to do something here. Straight coming in from the air. That's a shot on goal by Captain Cat.
Gonna tie it up 1-1, 50 seconds into the game.
And you can just kind of see how that 50-50 went in the air there. Captain Cat was ready for that on the right side of the field. He was just in the right place at the right time, and I wonder if that was just calculated in general. And we're going to see... It probably was, considering it looked like Straight was going for a pass there instead of a 50-50. Falc just going for the demo. Lobo going to be able to get that ball, pass it off to Orb. Orb's going to pass it back. Unfortunately, Lobo was a little bit overextended there. And Straight's going to take the ball back. Does look like Lobo was able to knock him, though. Captain Cat's going to keep it in the air. Falc's going to have to go for an intercept here. Gets it off the wall. Orb going to be able to pass it to the corner. Lobo getting it there.
Orb coming in for a cheeky little rebound.
Another pass. Unfortunately, Falc could not get there in time to do anything with that. Was able to pull out and get some boost instead of going for it. Good little bit of calculations there by him. Falcon getting the 50-50 off with Captain Cat, winning it. Lobo getting a shot on goal. Unfortunately, Straight's there to save it.
That was an insane save there from SCSU.
He just came rushing in. That would have been a crazy play by CSU there with the ceiling pass. We're going to see Power coming in, finally making the play in the air. He's been mostly on defense, and unfortunately with nobody on defense for SCSU Huskies, that is just CSU getting another goal.
All the way from the back wall. That's insane. And Orb right there to take care of it. CSU taking a 2-1 lead going in for the fourth kickoff.
They're going to win the 50-50 here. CSU will be able to keep it up, or will they clear the ball? They're going to clear the ball there. Huskies shooting it a little bit too high there. Lobo's going to be able to return it, though. Going into some volleyball tricks here. Captain Cat getting it out of the corner. Unfortunately, losing the 50-50 with Orb. Both teams there missing the ball in center field. Lobo getting another 50-50 off for CSU. And we're going to see Orb kind of hang back here. He's got the boost. He doesn't want to make a play, though. He's going to win the 50-50. It's going to get past the Valk. Valk's going to try to go for a play here. And oh my god, they tried to pinch it into the goal, but Power, man, he's just been on defense this whole game, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Captain Cat trying to get a flick into goal there. Unfortunately, does not get it. 50-50 by CSU there again. Captain Cat getting a pinch off the wall, getting it out of the corner. Orb was ready to bloody block that, though. I'm going to see Falk with a nice pass down midfield. Nobody's there to receive it. CSU's back on the offense, though. Loba's going to be hanging back, getting some information, waiting for that aerial. Fortunately, it looks like the Huskies there set up a pinch there, try to get it out of Lobo, or out of the way of Lobo. And oh my god, Falk could make a play. He saw that coming, though. He's going to hang back, save his boost. He's going to get it centered again. Fortunately, straight there, able to push it out of the center. CSU doing what they can to try to keep this out of the corner. They really want to take another shot on goal. The SCSU Huskies, though, doing really well on defense. Not so hot on the offense, though. Orb getting a nice little pinch, following it up with a demo. Absolutely crazy play there. Loba's going to be able to get in the air. He's going to go for a pinch, too. It's going to get 50-50'd, and CSU's going to lose that 50-50. Orb's going to save the ball there from straight. I don't know what Captain Cat was doing. And CSU's going to be back on the offense with only one person defending here.
Falcon already can control the ball. But Skis with his defense here, just not letting anything happen.
I think that's the big part of Captain Cat here, and him being so experienced, is that, I mean, we see a lot of defense, especially in 1v1s, where Captain Cat's been playing a whole lot more recently, according to their profile. You have to be good at 1v1s, and you have to be, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be great at communicating, but you have to be good at information gathering, and that's exactly what Captain Cat's been doing for the team. And I think that's allowed SCSU to do some really... I wish that went in, because I really want to see what just happened there again. That looked crazy. That was a crazy fake out by CSU there, almost getting a goal out of it. But, I mean, you need somebody who is used to doing some back and forth rushes like that on a team. So I think this allowed SCSU to defend really hard against CSU here. And Falk, oh, almost not getting that goal.
Yeah. That was practically traveling horizontally. That was... Look at that.
That was almost a 50-50 with Captain Cat. CSU now 1-3, 6 seconds on the clock. They could just stall us out, go for an aerial play here right off the bat, and just drop it down. Or they're just going to let it roll here. 22 power, wanting to keep it in the air. CSU saying no, we are bloodthirsty. 1 second on the clock with a goal, that's insane. What would you rather have, a Husky or a Viking, if you were out in the tundra alone with surrounded by polar bears?
I take the bear.
You take the bear? The bear wasn't an option.
Alright, that's going to be CSU taking game 1 of our best of 5 here.
Look at Falk, the tactician, 10 center balls. You know that's exactly what he is, that huge score there.
Readying up for game 2.
I'm surprised. This is the first game I think I've commentated where Lobo's gotten a higher score than Orb.
Really?
I mean, Orb's almost always on that ball, though, so that's usually why he has a high score, but this ball was in the air a lot that game, so... And Orb, I mean, he does aerial plays, but Lobo's the main dribbler and air guy.
SCSU taking a second here to think about how they're going to approach this game too.
Taking a little timeout, probably trying to figure out what went wrong there. They had a strong defense early on. It started to falter towards the end of the game, though. They probably gave up. Honestly, what it sort of feel like there after that third goal.
Yeah, conserving their...
Game number 2 roll in here.
You guys ever seen Death Note?
Yeah.
Going in for the kickoff here.
CSU is going to take the first second of the game to get on the aggressive side. Orb trying to get a pass off to Lobo. Lobo going back to midfield, getting a nice little aerial bump. Going for a flick on goal, unfortunately overshoots it. Orb going to be able to pass back to Lobo. Lobo's going to get it off the ceiling. Go for... Oh. That was almost the team pinch that I was talking about. That was almost the team pinch that I was talking about earlier. Before the game started. They tried to set that up. I don't think they were ready for it, though. CSU going to be back on defense, getting it exactly where they want to be, though. Lobo trying to read the thing, but Captain Cat getting a nice little fake out. That's where some of those 1v1 training goes, that you learn to fake out people really well. Unfortunately, CSU's got it back in their foot. Really hard in the defense, going for a corner play here. Falk's going to get it out, unfortunately. Oh, well, Orb's going to come to the rescue. Lobo's got to make an aerial play here, getting the 50-50.
Falk stealing the ball.
He's going to get it center balled here. He's got to pass it off to Orb. Unfortunately, Captain Cat gets there first, and that's just unfortunate for CSU. Though Orb gets another shot. 22 power there, ready to get the ball out of there. Oh my god, so many 50-50s happening here between both players. And there we go, Lobo gets it. It's about time with how many shots on goal just happened there within the first minute.
Yeah, let's see this replay here.
We're seeing some very, very fast plays here from CSU.
Going in for kickoff number 2.
And oh my god,
Oh, demo already.
I thought that was going in for a second. Captain Cat going for an aerial play here. Unfortunately, passing to the wrong CSU person for an aerial play. And Orb just demoing Captain Cat again. What is going on there? Straight, trying to get a shot on goal. Unfortunately, that was just a really slow ball there. Falcon to pass it off to Orb in the air. Unfortunately, CSU's not really able to do it. Oh, well, I spoke way too soon there.
Yep, CSU taking a very early 2-0 lead this game.
Was that just a... Did he just walk up and down smash?
And we are being booed off the stage by our producer.
Oh.
Nice little bicycle kick there from Orb just to get it in. We see a lot of those from Orb. Orb just loves doing bicycle kicks in this game. We're going to see a nice little aerial play there from Lobo, trying to get some support from Falk. Fortunately, Falk does not make contact with power before Lobo gets down there.
Scary defense situation there.
Power doing a ceiling play here, unfortunately getting intercepted there by Lobo. Falk's going to commit to this ball. Lobo's going to be able to center it for the team. Straight's going to get it out of there, though. Orb's going to be able to get it back up. He's going to try to pass off the Falk. Unfortunately, Straight has still got some boost in him. Lobo's going to set up a defense. He knows things are looking a bit finicky here. CSU a bit tight on their defense, but they're going to be able to get through it. We're going to see Lobo getting the ball across the field here. Straight's going to receive that. Captain Cat getting in there. Pitching it off the wall. Straight's taking a shot on goal.
Oh, narrowly avoiding it.
Unfortunately, he hits the ball a little bit too hard there. Falk's going to get a pinch 50-50 with Captain Cat. Not really sure if you can call that a win or a lose from either side, though. 22 power, trying to go for a flick. Intercepted by Lobo, though. I mean, SCSU Huskies here are back on the offense here, and they seem to have their game back in them.
Yeah, 2 minutes on the clock. This is definitely a doable comeback.
Captain Cat just trying to get that ball back out of the corner here. It's one thing I hate about this game is that there's just so much time spent in the corner trying to get the ball out of it as everybody flings themselves at the ball trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
Falcon getting a ceiling play here, though. Lobo getting a shot off. Passing it off to Orb, who passes it to Falcon. And oh my god, that's a crazy three-way pass here.
Suddenly, this comeback's looking a little less doable here if you're the Huskies.
Straight, he got bumped by Falk, and then Falk just got the ball simultaneously. I think that is something that I wish CSU would do more, is doing some of these bump plays that we've seen some of the other teams try to make in desperation. I think if they just pull it out just randomly, they could make some easy goals off of people. Like the way that they fake out, especially at the beginning, like during the kickoff, sometimes when they do that, it does help them out a lot of the times. Lobo getting the flip reset. Unfortunately makes some contact with straight there, though. Oh, I would have loved to see a flip reset goal there. I think that's not necessarily the first time, but the biggest opportunity I've seen Lobo have with a flip reset actually activated. We're going to see Falcon there taking a shot on goal. Captain Cat hanging back, getting some information. Unfortunately, does not see Fal coming up behind him and gets demoed. Lobo's going to come in, try to center the ball, gets past the Orb. Orb gets the goal! And there is no chance in comeback for the Huskies here at this point in time.
Yeah, at this point, CSU just plays defense, plays for time. It's looking like a wrap on game number 2.
We're going to be seeing CSU here on this kickoff. They might go for a fake out. They did not. Orb's going to get demoed for it, though. Lobo's going to be able to get an air dribble, passing it off the Falc. Expert pass there, and Orb almost getting another shot on goal there. Captain Cat trying to get the demo on Lobo. He wants it so bad at this point. 42 power coming in, trying to get a pinch. Unfortunately, he overshoots it. Maybe got a little bit of cold feet with how many CSU people were just chilling there waiting for him to pull off the pinch.
10 seconds on the clock here. CSU playing for time.
They're stalling it out. They want to keep things in the corner. They think that it's the safest option here. And surprisingly, that didn't hit the wall, or that didn't hit the ground. That hit the corner of the wall. That is something I've never seen happen before in a Rocket League match, where it just, well, at least give him a celebratory goal, you know, going into match 3 here. Give him a little bit of an ego boost.
I love the Kachow cosmetic. I love Cars. That movie's awesome. I don't care how bad people say it is.
Hurt you.
I love Cars too as well, but for different reasons.
What does Lightning McQueen say when he sneezes? Kerchew.
Alright, redden you up here.
Kerchew. Going in the game 3 here. Orb taking the most score here. Falc here. Getting the most center balls again. I mean, he is basically the CSU tactician.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They didn't, but yeah, no, 4 shots across the board here for CSU. Orb getting those 2 goals. I mean, Falc was just making pass after pass that game, though. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't have more assists. Granted, all of his passes did end up going into failed shots, so I guess that's the reason why. No shade to Falc, he's playing very well.
Hopping right into game number 3 here.
You can honestly blame Lobo and Orb for missing their shots.
Our producer hates us today. We haven't even done anything bad. Like, half the time I get it, but today?
Don't be depressed. Don't be sad. Get glad. Glad trash bags. We're not sponsored, but they're such great. The stretchy ones are fantastic. Orb here, getting a little bit on the defense side here, trying to keep the ball out of the corner. Lobo's just going to come from the ceiling, though. I didn't even notice him up there. And the Huskies here, just keeping things in the corner. Fortunately, they can't do much with it, though. Lobo's going to be a little bit patient here. Going to lose the 50-50. Captain Cat's going to take it back. Luckily, Orb's rotated back with some boost, ready to save that. And CSU's in the clear now, for the most part. Captain Cat's going to get back in the corner, though.
Demo.
That's a nice demo from a Lobo there. A good little pinch for both of them. Orb and Lobo getting the ball out of there. Straight, trying to take a shot on goal, unfortunately missing it. And that's just an interesting 50-50. That was a low-speed 50-50 that almost resulted in both of them being deadlocked.
Yeah.
We've only had one deadlock in CSU on stream in the history of Rocket League here. And that was between Carson and somebody from Ohio Northern. And it literally happened at the beginning of the game, and it was just back and forth for about 2.5 minutes where they were just sitting there. And for anybody who doesn't know, what a deadlock is in Rocket League is if you get stuck with 2 cars pushing up against each other, those cars have to stay there. the rest of the game. It's a gentleman's rule. It's not an actual rule. It's a gentleman's rule. But it's funny when it happens. And oh my god, that was a crazy save by Straight. An absolutely crazier shot on goal from CSU there. Orb gonna be able to get it back. Gonna try to get a pinch there off the floor. Fortunately not getting it, and because they didn't get it, luckily CSU is rotated back for defense already, but that could have been a little bit scary if they hadn't been. I mean, the Huskies here just have a really rock-solid defense. There is nothing to complain about there with the defense. I think it's their offense that's lacking a lot. I feel like they're a little bit uncoordinated sometimes and messy, and I think CSU takes advantage of that just to try to get... I mean, look at how quickly they recovered, and they're already taking shots on goal now. SCSU had like 2 shots on goal the entirety of last game, minus the goal that they scored. So like, it just seems like their offense, they lack a little bit. That or maybe CSU's defense is just that much better. And unfortunately, I am speaking way too soon there. 22 power, walking it into the goal.
There's no one there to stop it, unfortunately.
Oh, that was just a lost 50-50. That's all that was. Lobo probably could have gone for a different angle there and won it, but that's a good pinch there for both players. CSU and
Oh,
an amazing pinch for CSU actually. Woo! Look at that pinch. Look at how crazy that pinch was. From CSU. Falconing have the ball off the wall here. Lobo trying to recenter it. Unfortunately, Orb can't really do much with that, but Falc's gonna come back in and get a nice little something going. Lobo missing the ball there. That was probably a failed 50-50. Falco winning the 50-50 with Cat. Unfortunately, Straight there to salvage some things. We're gonna see Orb getting the nice little aerial bump there to get the ball up out of the goal's reach. Captain Cat getting the intercept. Things are looking bad though. Straight saving it. Captain Cat almost facing some embarrassment with almost own goaling there. Lobo kicking the ball off to Falk here. He's gonna get an aerial play, passing it off to Orb. Or actually no, Orb trying to get a bump there to try to save some defense there. Falk losing the 50-50 in the air there. Lobo hunting it back up, maybe gonna get a pass off the Orb here, or Falk. Fortunately, the defense is a bit too strong here from the Huskies. We're not gonna see a whole lot going on here.
1 minute on the clock here, 1-1. We might see this going to overtime if we can't break through one of these defensive lines soon.
Orb luckily getting to the ball before Captain Cat can pinch it. Not that that pinch angle would have done anything for the Huskies here. CSU Vikes are a bit more on the offensive side all of a sudden. They're getting it out into the corner. They're going for demos. Lobo is trying to get a 50-50. Unfortunately, Captain Cat wins the 50-50. Orb luckily there to save some face here. Falk doing some aerial shenanigans here. Unfortunately, nothing ends up happening out of that. That was a crazy wall pinch. Almost getting a goal there.
Yeah, luckily CSU to keep it from happening. And all the way back to the other side, but not letting anything happen there. Straight back to midfield, over to CSU's goal.
Back in the corner. The amount of times it keeps entering the corner today. Captain Cat getting a nice little shot on goal there with a side flip. Fortunately, nothing coming out of that with CSU's tight defense there, though. We're going to see Lobo trying to make some off-the-wall play there, waiting for his teammates to get settled. Probably trying to get a read on what SCSU is doing here, and that's going to be overtime. We could see a famous CSU just a punt to, and there we go. That's not quite the angle that you're looking for there if you're CSU. Orb's going to be able to pass the Lobo. Fortunately, nobody makes contact with the ball there except for Straight. Or not Straight, that was 22 power.
He's playing very offensive.
They do have somebody rotated back, which is good in case things go wrong. But Lobo's going to get a shot on goal. Unfortunately, what was that? Straight? But Falk salvages it from midfield. And that's going to be game number 3 going to CSU.
Yep, another 3-0. Got a little scary there at the end, but nothing CSU can't handle.
And that is game, set, and match for CSU, taking their next NACE game from SCSU. St. Cloud put up a really good fight. They have a really solid defense. I'm not going to even lie there. But I do think they need to work more on their offense. I think I've noticed, at least for SCSU, they just struggle to get things out of the corner there when they're on the offensive side of things. Which is why we sat there and watched for a minute and a half game 2 of them just struggling to get things out of the corner. But that'll be it for Rocket League. Come back in about 20 minutes for Valorant Black on mainstream. Actually, let's go ahead and pull one of the players here for an interview here. We'll be right back. Give us like 2 minutes for that. All right, we are back with the air dribbler here, Lobo, doing some awesome plays tonight. How did you feel about St. Cloud Huskies? How do you think they stand in the NACE?
At first, we're going in hard. The first couple, I would say the last game it was a little bit like they were. But then, we were just as a team.
We do have our esports director coming in here. Producer did say that you're being a little bit too quiet here, so maybe it might help a little bit to move a bit closer to the mic, but actually, I need a longer cord for this. That's what I want. Oh, there we go. I made it longer. There we go. We have a floating. We have a floating microphone now.
Just hold it at arm's length, please. Don't bring it back to your face. You're gonna kill somebody.
The producer's mad at me now, but it's fine.
Yeah, they can hear me when I yell.
So, yeah, no, I think y'all played really well tonight. As far as like, I don't think I've interviewed you yet when it comes to this, but what's something that you're excited to work on this semester with CSU?
I would just say building chemistry with the team. I feel like that's a strong point that every team should have, and I'm also an athlete, so it's really important that not only in game that you build chemistry, but also like outside of the game as well.
Absolutely. And I know that you guys struggled early in the season with a little bit of communication stuff, but I think you all have really figured that out. I feel like, especially watching the last two games and commentating them, I feel like y'all have been kind of trading information a whole lot better. I've noticed that Falk's been rotating back a whole lot more than he used to, and I think that's also very important because like it used to be just you rotating back and being midfield. So like especially with some of those things, how do you feel like about your other two teammates? Something that they might need, like they do really well, or something that they that you feel kind of reiterates and backs up your own play style?
I would say comms is a big thing, like calling out fakes and things like that. Like if one person is air dribbling and they call it off, and that allows another teammate to come in and shoot the ball, and it works a lot of the time as well. So I would say comms, and also like everybody's capable of having like that solo play like as well.
And I've noticed that you've started going for some pinches tonight. Have you been working on like some different aerial maneuvers that you've been trying to try out during matches? Or?
Yeah, I have in training. I try to keep everything, clean. So yeah.
What's your favorite aerial maneuver? Like a flick or ceiling shots?
I would say probably flip reset.
Oh yeah, you went for that like a few times tonight. I saw you pull off one and then it got kind of like 50-50 by what was his name? Strike or something. That's
Striker 20.
Or no, 22 power. 22 power.
22 power, yeah.
But yeah, no, every single time I see you pull off the flip reset, I get so hyped for it, and then it's like it gets blocked. I'm like, oh god dang it, I really want to see the replay of it happen. All right, is there any questions from chat, or maybe anyone want to echo? All right, well, it sounds like you guys have a very good chance of going to. Does NACE have a LAN? I have a feeling that y'all will easily make top 8 or top 16 or whatever it is. If you guys do end up going to a LAN, what's the thing you're most excited for in terms of a LAN for a like whole conference like this?
I would probably say the atmosphere.
The atmosphere?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been up on stage for a whole thing, minus like a one Melee tournament at Super Smash Con in Virginia, and like. Let me just tell you, that was an intimidating experience. So it's definitely something to grow accustomed to. And some people have it in them to just roll up in there, and some people don't. I'm one of the people who don't.
We're going to land this weekend.
Land this weekend, Rocket League,
Yeah.
Kentucky. Oh, what are you excited about for the Kentucky trip then?
Just probably meeting everybody there. It's gonna be our first time, like as a team. So I think just bond, like outside of campus.
Yeah.
Would be good.
All right, well, that's it for tonight's interview. Thank you, Lobo, for joining us back here. And we'll be back in about, 15 minutes for Valorant? So stick around. We got Valorant Black first up, and then we have Valorant Green playing at 9 p.m. tonight. That's going to be a really exciting game. I know that the team's back there prepping for it. They're scrimming right now, I believe. So definitely stop by. And we also got Valorant White. I'm stepping off screen here. I shouldn't be. We got Valorant White here on the second channel if you want to stop by for that as well. Peace.